Yo, welcome back to another video, you guys. Thank you so much for the resounding amount of support that you've shown my last video and my channel in general over the past 2 or 3 weeks. It's been crazy. I'm extremely humbled by the amount of people that have reached out to me and told me how much my video meant to them, and thank you. But yeah, this video is meant as a follow-up to that last one, so if you haven't seen it, I ask you to check it out. A link will be down in the description below. But as much support as it did receive for that video, there was a fair amount of negativity and criticism on YouTube and Reddit and on social media in general. So I kind of want to explain myself and the things that I'm doing and why I'm doing them. So yeah, this will be about that, as well as why I'm working hard and why I'm doing the things that I do. I kind of want to explain my goals with this channel and my personal goals in general, so that people will kind of see where I'm coming from, because I think there's a little bit of a disconnect about what people think I'm doing and what I'm actually doing. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get right into it. And yep. I want to preface this video by saying that my previous one, the How I Study video, was written clear back in December. Alright, so it took me 4 to 5 months to produce it. And what took me so long wasn't the writing of the video. What took me so long was debating whether or not I had wanted to make it. I knew a lot of people would be watching this video, alright, and it would inspire people to do what I did. So I really wanted to make sure that this was a good idea and that it would actually be beneficial for a lot of people, alright? And I did conclude that. Alright, so that's the first thing I wanted to say was, I'm not doing this to show off or flex my achievements or anything. I'm doing this from a place of compassion and empathy. I wanted to be able to tell a younger version of me exactly what I should have heard. And that's what I should have heard, was that last video. That's why I made it. So please don't think that was to show off or to... Alright, so I also wanted to say that I wouldn't really consider myself a hustler. A hustler, if you don't know, is like these really gung-ho people that go out, work all day, they come home, read self-help books, and then go work out at the gym. And look, it's really easy for an outsider, I would say, to label me as that, alright? Because I do and say a lot of similar things as the hustlers. But at least to me, it feels like the hustle culture is more achievement driven, alright? They want to be able to say that they have the best GPA. They want to be in first place. They want to be the next CEO of Tesla, things like that, alright? And that's not me, to be honest with you. I'm doing this because I enjoy pushing myself. I want to be able to look back at my teenage years and as an adult and tell my kids someday, given the pandemic and given the just sheer amount of things that I have to do as a computer engineering student, alright? I want to be able to show them how I reacted, and that wasn't by sitting around and doing nothing. That was by pushing myself to achieve the things that I had wanted to do, and that's really gratifying to me, alright? I really enjoy being able to say that I overcame those obstacles, whether or not they were self-imposed. And yeah, so I wish I made that clear in my previous video. I wouldn't really call myself a hustler because honestly, I really don't care that much about my GPA. I never set my GPA on this channel for that reason. It's just like things like that, which I feel like it's a really important distinction, but I just left out the previous one, and I'm sorry if that was confusing for you. Alright, so in the previous video I mentioned that I had 3 goals, alright? And that was to buy my mom a big house someday, it was to be a great father someday, and to help other people. And look, those are, for all intents and purposes, very standard goals, right? I'm sure a lot of people have that goal. But how I'm going about it is quite atypical. It's not ordinary for someone my age to be working this hard and to be pushing themselves this hard, alright? It's not a typical ordinary life. And for a lot of people, that causes them to feel two different ways, alright? One is this: that's awesome, man, keep it up, good job, keep up the great work, you got this. And the other group is, you need to slow down, you need to take things more slowly, you need to enjoy your youth. And look, I understand both perspectives perfectly well. Alright, I'm not so full of myself that I can't see that this is really strange. But at the same time, I don't really mind living this lifestyle because it does help me achieve my dreams. And I don't really see any other path, to be honest with you, to achieve those things. Okay? I kind of want to explain each goal and how this lifestyle gets those eventually, and why I need to be doing this so hard right now. Okay? Alright, so my first goal to buy my mom a big house someday is fairly straightforward. I mean, I'm sure most kids want the best for their parents. And in order for me to buy her something that large, of course I need a lot of money, alright? And my course at school enables me to do that. Computer engineering, it takes a lot of time and a lot of discipline to master. I mean, it's not something that everyone can do, which is why people get paid so much to do it, alright? And look, I'm someone who loves beauty and perfection and mastering of one's craft, and that's quite frankly something that I want to be able to do someday in computer engineering, is to become really great at it. And that takes a lot of time and concentration and effort. Alright, so I received a lot of criticism, like, you need to be working so and so hours per day, 3 hours per day. And look, I'm sure that's enough for you, but for me, I want to be an exceptional computer engineer, okay? Someone who gets paid a lot of money so that I can buy my mom a big house someday. And in order to be that, not only do I have to be a computer engineer, which is plenty difficult enough, at least for me, okay? I also have to be better than the next person so that I get picked to be in that position. And that's why I'm pushing myself so hard. That's one of the reasons I'm pushing myself so hard, is so that I can be in that position someday, so that I can get a lot of money and buy her a big house. Alright, and my second goal is to be a great father someday. Alright, if you didn't know, I was raised by a single mother, and look, a lot of people react differently to not having a father figure. There's a real big hole in my heart, alright, where I could really easily drown it out with things like alcohol, drugs, weed, video games. There are plenty of things in this world that will hide those feelings, alright? But here's how I'm reacting. I want to be a great father someday. I want to be able to say that your dad overcame those things. Okay? And the stream is a manifestation of that. You need a lot of qualities to be able to do this, alright? Resilience, perseverance, discipline, hard work, drive. These are all words that mean a tremendous amount to me. And they're all words that I want my kids to be able to say they have. And how they got them was by me. Sorry for crying again, guys. But look, I'm sure to a lot of people, they haven't thought about this before, but I've thought about it a lot. And these are all qualities that I'm trying to foster in my children. Alright? So yeah, that's another reason that I'm working so hard. Alright, and my last goal is to help other people, okay? I believe in altruism. I want to be able to raise other people up so that someday they might help me, or my kids, or my kids' kids, okay? And look, you need a lot of power to help other people. You need strength. If you're in a worse position than them, how can you help them? And one way to help them is through this. Teaching them important skills that, quite frankly, many people of my generation don't have. We are immensely depressed. We're on our screens all day. We watch TikTok all day. We watch pointless YouTube videos all day. We play video games all day. We have no light that shines and shows us what to do. And look, I'm not trying to be that light, alright? I want to be able to foster people that will be that light someday, because quite frankly, I'm not smart enough to be able to do that. But what I can show is skills that you need to be able to have to be that light, alright? In order to raise other people, to someday raise other people, they have to be persistent. It's not a one-time thing. You can't half-ass it. You have to really be gung-ho about it, or else you won't do anything meaningful. And look, given the pandemic, I saw an opportunity in this video genre, alright, Study With Me videos. I knew that people would be at home all day, and I knew that they'd be unmotivated. I mean, online school isn't the best for most people, alright? And look, I saw an opportunity here to not only motivate other students, I saw an opportunity to raise them to be great leaders someday. They need these qualities, which quite frankly, I want to show and lead by example, so that someday they can help other people, okay? Alright, and throughout this entire process of streaming and stuff, I also learned about another group of people that I wasn't aware of before streaming, alright? And these are people from countries like India, Turkey, China. These are all people where their lives are determined by one single thing, alright? And that's college admission. If you can't get into a college in these countries, then you're basically a slave for the rest of your life. You're assembling iPhones for other countries. You're not there's no way to progress, alright? And I feel like a lot of the criticism that I had received was from privileged people, okay? People where, in their country, if they mess up, there are still plenty of opportunities to someday become someone great. But in these countries, no, it's a caste system. You're stuck, okay? And look, my videos are mainly watched by people from these countries, okay? They have one opportunity, and that is to get to college. That is the one thing where they might have an equal shot at a great life. And I feel for them immensely. They shouldn't be in that position. But how we fix this problem is by getting people who care into positions where they might be able to raise their society, okay? And my stream is one way I might be able to help that. If I can somehow teach them important skills you need as a student, then maybe I can help that problem. Alright, and that's something that drives me. Alright, so those are like the 3 goals that I really do want to achieve someday. Like, am I gonna be unhappy if I never achieve them? No, but I feel like if I did achieve them, maybe I'll die happy, man. And yeah. In this video, I also wanted to address a lot of the criticism from my previous video. If we have time, I'll try to get through as many of them as possible. So yeah. Alright, so one thing I got a lot was you need to be working and applying the things you learn to a job or something. And I guess you don't know me, I'm a researcher, I'm an undergraduate researcher, I work for a lab at my school, and that's how I've been applying my things that I learned from school to real life world applications, you know. I also do a lot of project-based learning, and that I would say is the best way to apply the things that at least you learn as a computer science student too. So yeah, I would say that this one is fair criticism, but the reason I received it was a bit misinformed. So another criticism I received was you need to be working X hours per day, alright, 6, 4, 3, there are a million studies that you need to be working this amount of time per day. And quite frankly, that's for most people, but I would say that I'm not most people, okay? I want to be different in that I want to be able to raise other people to be stronger. And the average person can't do that, okay? You have to be exceptional in a lot of things in order to help other people, as I said. So look, I'm sure that science has told me a million times that I can't do this, but as a scientist, sometimes I like believing in human strength that defies the common norm, okay? So another criticism I received was you need to not define yourself by your achievements, and I'm on board with that, okay? I think people were also misunderstanding me, and maybe I didn't communicate this as well as I should have, but I don't define myself by that. How I built my character was through blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, I don't really care about my GPA or my test scores. What I do care about is how hard working I was in order to achieve those things. I became quite happy with my lead measures and quite satisfied with the amount of work that I was putting in and the results that ensued. So it's cliche, but the destination is not the prize, alright? It's the journey. And maybe most people just didn't see that in me. Another important criticism I received was he's probably taking Adderall or some sort of focus supplement, things along those lines. And no, I've never taken Adderall or any focus supplement of any kind ever, alright? It's not my thing, I don't believe in it. I want to be able to look back on this and know that I alone was able to do this for over a year without anyone's help, okay? I didn't even drink coffee for most of it. So part of me feels like people are just saying this to make them feel better, but no, I didn't take any Adderall and I never will, right? The last point of criticism I received was you'd be working smarter and not harder. And look, I think this is good in essence. You should be working smarter because if you're not efficient, you're probably wasting a lot of time, alright? But I also think that there's a certain amount of work that still needs to be put in at the end of the day. You still have to get those reps in no matter what, alright? And look, I'm trying to buck the trend here and be abnormal because I'm trying to stand out so that someday someone might pick me, okay? So if you want to be like me, you can work smarter and harder.